I got the regular under ear ones here. Oh, that's better.
No worries. Okay, let me see. Can it?
I love the mic though. I want one of the hanging mics.
Yeah, I've got it. So, what are these called? Like a boom stand or something like that?
Can you kind of get it out of your way and just like
Yeah, I can move it around. I
swivel
move
it?
it up, down, around, wherever I need to.
This
How's
is
it going?
this is my Yeti. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I tried to get most of my morning routine done this morning. Feeling good.
Well, that's good. Hold on
Yes.
1 second. Let me see. Oh, there. Perfect. So let me.
I did not get my little 10-minute beginner yoga in today though.
Oh, you do 10-minute yoga.
10 minutes, that's it. Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you do that every morning?
I try to, yes. My best days are the days that I have done that, yes. Get the blood flowing really good and feeling great for the day. But I feel great for the day today, and it's Friday. Friday.
Friday. So thank you so much for doing this with me.
I am excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. What do you got on the agenda today?
So you told me that you wanted to talk about video and authenticity. And so
Yes.
I want to talk about all things video and marketing and your story. And I have
Cool.
some questions for you about, just to kind of give you some insight. I want to talk to you about, who you think is doing really well in video,
Mm-hmm.
what advice you would give to people about video, and, like
Yeah.
equipment, tools, where you post your platforms.
Cool.
Do you have best practice tips kind of in your head already? Like 2 or 3?
I'm going to let people know that are in certain industries, you need to have your best practices being in line with your compliance department, because that has set me back tremendously. That's why I've had to restart my YouTube channel twice and a
Right.
variety of other things. So I want to encourage
Oh,
people to not be a rebel like me
right.
as much as I am and
Right.
be compliant so that they can hold on to their good content and keep it housed. So I've had to move around a little bit, but I'll mention that briefly.
Oh, that's awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. So, trying to get myself situated here so I can
Take your time.
listen. Sorry, I had to be mommy this morning,
Of course.
and then the other thing I was gonna, I always like to end, just so you know, with some like legacy style questions, right?
Cool.
Get less business, more personal reflection
Mm-hmm.
about, life plus business, right? So the kinds
Right.
of things I might ask you, I don't know which one I'm going to ask you, just will depend on the flow of the interview. But,
Flow. Let's go with the flow.
what's one of my questions on here is kind of like, what's taking up the most real estate in your head right now about your business?
Mm.
Um, how do you want to be remembered when you're gone? What would you want your legacy to be? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a memorable mistake, or is the best advice a leader, mentor gave you? I probably won't ask you that one because I asked that one in the last interview.
Okay.
But um, I
Whatever,
but
whatever
just
you feel.
one of those other 3, if it is comfortable for you.
I'm comfortable with whatever you throw at me. Even if I'm not, I'll explain that's being uncomfortable. That's part of life. So we figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to get going.
Okay.
And I'm going to introduce you, and then I'll start with a question. All
Okay.
right.
Perfect. That sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to mark it 3, 2, 1. So our next guest is high energy. He's super creative and he is obsessed with video. He is the Millennial Falcon of real estate marketing. His passion for marketing and videos have made him a video star on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and BombBomb. In fact, in 2008, he was voted top 5 mortgage video influencer by BombBomb.com. He is originally from Ohio and moved to Tampa in 2015, where he worked as a mortgage loan officer for 4 years. So he knows what it's like to hustle in the sales industry. And he has worked in sales since, well, at least a decade, I believe. He's currently the president of marketing and media for Milestone Title in Tampa, Florida, and continues to make a splash on social channels all over the place, including digital voice. Please help me welcome Ryan Owens. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. I'm feeling the energy this morning. I'm getting a little bit of my drink is actually getting through my system now. So I'm feeling great. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday.
And thanks for having me on. And no, I was not in the business in 2008, but that Bomb Bomb Award was 2018.
Oh,
But
I said 2018. I'm so sorry. 2018. Oh my gosh, I'll fix that.
Bomb Bomb hadn't probably got their business plan together at that time.
No. Oh my gosh. I knew it was 2018. My bad. You're right.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much for having me on this morning.
Yeah. So you are a video superstar. You use green
Love video.
screen and you get pretty fancy with your videos, I noticed. Tell us how you came to marketing video or using video as a significant part of your marketing strategy.
Well, I want to start from the beginning, and I'll make this as brief as possible with getting all the good details in there. My mentor, when I started selling cars, was really my introduction to sales. And when I started studying up on Jim Rohn's and Grant Cardone's before anybody knew who Grant Cardone was. And I had a general manager who was that person who was on TV all the time, representing the dealership, just really himself and fully over the top. And he brought a lot of business in, and I really watched him and what he was doing. So when I decided to make a move 1,000 miles away from home, I came to a town, you guys might know of it, called Tampa, Florida, and I did not know anyone. I knew one single lifelong friend. So I had to take what I knew, got a message out, and bring that with me to Tampa. So not knowing everybody, when I got into the mortgage business, I knew immediately I needed to get behind the camera and become known. Because when I moved here, I was in obscurity. Nobody knew me. So I had to start getting known. So I started making raw videos just from my cell phone, nothing fancy whatsoever. It was just simply me, a camera, and pushing out that message with whatever, app that I had at that time in 2015. People started to get to know me. I started going to events and they would say, "Hey, it's you from the video." And
Right.
it almost warmed up all what would have been cold meetings for me. So it was really advantageous. And then I started repeating that message because I realized, okay, people might know me, but they're going to forget me if I don't, consistently bring out that message. So it was really a way for me to get known in Tampa, Florida, when I knew no one. And I found the best way to do that was through video, creating relationships through video.
That's great. That's really cool. You mentioned Jim Rohn at the top there, and I noticed and I saw that you retweeted a John Maxwell quote recently where you said, "I want to continually grow. If you want to continually grow, you have to put yourself with people who are bigger, faster, better, and smarter than you."
Mm-hmm.
Who are your video influencers and mentors?
Well, we'll just mention the first one, Steve Van Gorder. Shout out to him, who runs a huge auto network up there. His business has grown exponentially, and I would say it's because of his awesome personality and his business savvy. But he was the one who started me off on this path of understanding digital media and the power of advertisement and being your authentic personality on camera. Other than that, it was people like Grant Cardone. They all kind of stemmed from that period of time. Grant Cardone went from very unknown in the sales industry, and especially globally. He was just known by the car sales industry at that time. But through media and video, I watched him grow into a global powerhouse of sales. And it was through his social media presence and video. I mean, he's a great salesman, but without that, he would not be as big as he is now. So I took a lot of cues from him. And also some relatively newcomers, because he's more popular now. He was kind of in the shadows a while back. But Gary Vee, in his message of being authentic and happiness and these things, show me the power of what video can do when it's not just all about sales. It's also about life and being happy amongst, creating a life through ourselves through sales. So Gary Vee, Steve Van Gorder, who's a personal friend, Grant Cardone, those were the guys who showed me the power of what video could actually accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really cool. I've not looked up Grant Cardone, and I'm definitely follow Gary Vee. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a huge influencer in my mind and, part of my business and my video presence and my marketing strategy. Who else, or is there anyone else you think that's killing it right now in video that we should be watching and paying attention to?
I'll tell you, let me think. I'll tell you what, there is a group on Facebook called RETV, Real Estate Television. So RETV. And within that group, there are real estate agents from across the country who are really putting forth a great effort in video, and their videos are very, very professional, and people are learning in that group, and people are sharing in that group. I find a lot of some of the top real estate video influencers are in that group. So I've actually took a lot of cues from them because I focus in on what's happening in real estate. That's why I watch you, and you do such an amazing job with your videos, and I love it. And you're consistent. So I love watching agents who are consistent, and I find a lot of those are on RETV. And then I have my other ones like my Kendall Bonners and whatnot, who are really inspiring me to stay consistent, which I find is the number one key in video other than authenticity. So check out that group if you haven't, and you're going to find a lot of examples of great video creators.
You said consistency and authenticity. Mm-hmm. Tell me, how would you define consistency, and then how do you maintain authenticity while also trying to, sell, right? You're trying to sell your client through your video, or at least build a relationship with them, right? So tell us a little bit about that. How would you define those two things?
Sales have changed a bit since I started in sales. We used to really have hardcore scripts where we would get people, to make decisions because we had to help people get out of their own way. And we had a lot of scripts and a lot of things that are still important today, but we do more telling now than selling. Selling, we've kind of moved out of the full force sales, we're signed right here, and moved into more storytelling and being more authentic and understanding and empathizing with the customer. So things have really gone through an evolution when it comes to sales. And excuse me, this is my first podcast. Get me back on track there with what question that I was answering.
Consistency and authenticity.
Oh, yes.
Expand on that for us. Yeah.
Okay. So consistency is going to be the thing with consistency and authenticity is consistency goes back to that first story that I told when I came in here to Florida, because you've got to understand the state of the world. It's a chaotic world. It's a very fast-paced world. What used to be a 10-year plan is now a 5-year plan, just because the world moves in such a fast pace. We have all kinds of notifications popping up. We have a lot of noise pollution. So to get through that smog, you have to be consistent, because you have that obscurity level. Number one is I don't know you. But then you have obscurity level number two is that I forgot about you because you didn't repeat your message. And there's a lot going on for me in my life, my children, my job, my clients, everything that's going on, my spirituality, whatever it might be. So consistency means coming back and repeating your message that you want to bring to the marketplace or the community, and bringing that. And I don't think that is once a month. I really think that is weekly. And for some of us daily, depending on the quality of content and what we're doing, live videos and whatnot. It's just about not being forgotten. We need to be known. Being known is a currency. And it's not only about who you know, it's who knows you. So consistency creates other people to know you, where you go to events and people say, hey, you're so-and-so. I've never met you, but I feel like I know you. That's consistency. And authenticity is just something, I believe it is the future of sales. I believe that authenticity and being real is going to become something that isn't as uncommon as it is now. Because a lot of us are trying to find our feet. We're trying to become what we think is supposed to be us in our sales career and in our community. So sometimes we put things on. But today we're very perceptive of who is being authentic and who isn't. So I just suggest you taking some inventory of who am I? What is my message? And really ask yourself some great affirmations, not affirmations. Asking ourselves good questions about who are we, and making sure that nobody runs into someone who's different than they saw on the video. Now, you might amplify some of who you are through video, but you never want to be someone you are not on video and then be caught out in the wild and them seeing you as not being the person who they met on that video. So I suggest you just find out who you are, and that's going to be the best person that you can display on video, and it will be the most impactful.
That's great advice. I love that. You said one of the things going back to consistency real quick, just to kind of sum up what I heard you say is it's really, really noisy out there, and we're fighting for face time. And that's why we really need to be consistent. And you suggested at least a weekly posting at a minimum. at a minimum, right?
Yes.
Or more. And then as far as authenticity, I love that you acknowledge that sometimes in video we do have to amplify who we are, but we don't need to be who we're not.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
love that. I love that. That's really great advice. So with that being said, with being consistent, with being authentic, what types of videos do you think agents, real estate brokers, lenders should be doing in order to maintain those two, necessities, right? As a part of their video programming? What types of videos do you see working out there? Because they've got listing videos, you've got the type of videos you and I do, which is almost like, I call it like news radio or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
it's a little different because, we're talking direct to our audience, and then people are doing interviews and just different types of things. What do you think is best?
There's a variety of videos. There's longer shelf life videos, and then there are those videos that we just make pretty much for that day, and they kind of go off into obscurity themselves. But then we have those longer shelf life videos. I really like the videos that display when we become self-aware of not only ourselves but our team and what we represent and what our brand is. I think that all the videos should represent that. But one of my favorite videos, before I jump into what are some individual videos, but I really like when real estate agents specifically, or any professional, is recording at the end of the process the amazing experience that hopefully that client had. I believe capturing that social proof, it's not about you, it's actually about the client and their experience and their emotions, and capturing that. I find that, as far as personally, one of my most impactful videos of 2019, because 5-star reviews are great and we must have them. But I think capturing that highest emotional point of the transaction, being at the closing table or at that home for the final walkthrough or getting those keys, is just something that's going to spread our message a lot easier than the old way of 5-star reviews and just typing and reading things out. I think it has a much more impact, and that's what we want. We want to kind of take our blogs that we've written down and turn those into videos, and our clients' experiences that they would type down and capture that. But for individuals, I really think that I've always taken the stance that it's about the agent, because I want people to come on and see your videos and understand who you are. Because my personal philosophy is that people don't go on Facebook to search for listings and homes and whatnot. Now, it's great that they come across those, and I hope that you have lead generation for those who are searching online. But They're searching for a person. When they look for somebody and they've got a referral, they're going to go online and they're going to be shopping for you. And I want you to be someone that they purchase. So I need you to stand out. And I think that your material that you have online should really show who you are, and not so much the commodity that we sell, being the home. Those are important. We need to advertise those. We are going to sell them. We're going to help people buy them. But we're going to continue on. We don't go off the shelf. So I really want people to show up and show their personality that relates to their brand, and really show themselves to their audience. So I really like videos that emphasize the personality of the individual, because I think people are shopping for you. And I just, I want you to display yourself on that top shelf right at eye level, so that people can do business with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me of a topic that I teach on. I do a series on how to build a brand, and part of that is talking about how to become an influencer, right? And how do you become an influencer? Well, you need to become a resource and an authority. So part of getting your message out there is sharing what you know and how you can help people make decisions, while also delivering, like you said, your personality, because people do business with people, right? That's just this old saying that we all know in our business. And I heard a quote on another podcast earlier. We have to move from transactional to transformational.
I love that.
Right? Me too.
Yes.
That was on the podcast with the RE.max CEO, Adam Conto, Start With a Win, a couple of weeks ago. And I loved that quote. It stayed with me, because I think that's what video allows us to do. It allows us to move from a transactional sale to a transformational experience, because now the people get to know us before they ever know us, and they get to
Yes.
experience what doing business with us is like prior to ever actually doing business with us, right?
That's huge. It's huge in today's market for sure.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, because I think you've given some great tips there. What about equipment? You know, a lot of people are intimidated by what they need to do and what they need to have and what they need to know in order to record a video. And you said you started out with a phone. How has your video equipment evolved, or has it stayed the same? What are you using, and what do you recommend agents and people getting into video use?
I love this question. Kendall, I'm going to tell you and the audience the best camera you can possibly get to make content, and it's the one you already have.
Yep.
I have spent a lot of time. If you like any of my videos, I want to make it clear that these have been on mostly camera phones, and because I wanted it to be duplicatable. You don't need our phones within the last 2 years shoot up to, oh my gosh, 4K at 60 frames per second. I mean, Steven Spielberg couldn't have imagined that years ago. We have that capability on our phones.
Yeah.
Now I've stepped things up a bit. I got myself a new Sony A6400. I'm moving to the big leagues,
Nice.
but I want to encourage people that you can shoot amazing content that will make a difference in other people's lives just from your camera phone. That little hole in the top of your phone, that is your window to the world. Like, you don't need to go out and spend money. You need to be confident. You need to want to show who you are and how much value you have for the marketplace. And that camera phone can do all of that for you and more with a simple video editing software. But I encourage raw video more these days because there's some things going on behind the scenes that people on social media don't see. I'm sending out thank you videos that are very raw, and they're just me wherever I'm at, because I use BombBomb and they have an app, and I can send out a video email that also gets rid of time and space, because now they can look at that video at any time. Whether they're midnight people, we know we have those clients that we see reading our emails if we have any analytics like 1 a.m.
Right.
Now we know they're a 1 a.m. person. And they can look at it at their convenience. So there's a lot of raw video going on. And I want to tell you, it doesn't have to be edited all the time. You don't have to have edited video. Now, it's great for longer shelf life videos or ads or things like that. But it's easy to just say thank you with a raw video, or it was nice to meet you, or the process is going really well. The inspection went awesome. I just wanted to inform you guys to keep you, because I know this is your first time purchasing a home or whatever it might be, and I wanted to let you know everything's okay. That's an easy video that can be done raw with no editing, nothing fancy, no large expensive camera, just right from your phone. That's the best camera you can use right now.
I love how you are trying to help remove the barriers, right? Because people will come up with excuse after excuse after excuse about why they can't do something. And, let's just remove the barriers. Let's keep it simple and just throw up that phone, turn on camera and turn on the camera and let's hit play, right? I used to say that when I would make my my dials and my calls when I used to prospect for expireds and fizz bills. It's like, just hit play, Kendall. It's just kind of my gear up to do the hard thing, right?
Yes.
I also love, what I hear you saying, and what I would distill down for our audience is, think about using video instead of voicemail. I feel like you do that, right? I've communicated with you and you'll send me a voice memo or a video as opposed to leaving me an actual voicemail. And that does make it more authentic and more real, more connected, quick and easy. And I do enjoy that experience on the other end of it for sure.
I appreciate that. It's really evolution is the reason I do it, is because we've evolved over, depending on, we're just gonna go with science, 150,000 years. We have been, evolving to understand the quirks of an eye twitch, of a voice inflection, of a movement that tells us what the people aren't saying. There are things that are not said by words. Words are a small part of communication. So what we want to do, we can really communicate with people by showing them our shoulders moving and our eyes moving and our voice inflections. They can understand more and there's less confusion. I'm a bad email writer. I used video emails because I had a lot of misunderstood emails. I don't know if anybody listening has had a misunderstood email, but I'll tell you how you can eliminate that. by saying what you need to say with video. Now, I don't encourage every single email being a video. That can get a little crazy. But there are certain times when a video can be the best way of communication ever, and there's no confusion at all. Somebody's going to know that, no, I don't know if was he upset when he was saying that, or was he,
right.
what was he thinking?
You can't read tone.
You can't read tone. So I try to use voicemails or voice messages as much as possible in video because it eliminates confusion, and we don't have time for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The other point I want to go back to was the editing and the raw video.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because I've done both. I have edited and over edited videos, and then I've also done some raw stuff. And I have to tell you, it's been a learning experience, and you'd be surprised as I've done more video and I've gotten more experience with video. I do less editing than I did on the front end. And I think that's a lesson for a lot of people because they think, oh, if I do video, I have to know how to edit. Well, it's a tool that you can have in the toolbox, but it's not a necessity. And people like when you make a mistake, and it makes you human, right? I mean, it makes you relatable. Absolutely.
Yeah. Perfection is not relatable. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that lesson. I tried to really put it on because I was in the mortgage industry. I'm dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. People are really anxious, and I'm just trying
emotional.
Emotional. And I'm trying to exude this professionalism. And I had to lighten up because, I could see I was stiff. I was thinking too much. My eyes were blinking like crazy because I'm thinking and trying to like maintain this perfect posture and be professional and think about what I'm going to say and all this. And you know what? You gotta loosen up a little bit. You really do.
Absolutely. So let's move on to, I still want to talk video. Where do you post and what platforms are you using when you post your videos? What platforms and would you recommend?
Well, what I want to say, first of all, leading off from that, is that I don't suggest anyone having a favorite social network if you're in business. Because your favorite social network should be all of them, because they all offer an opportunity to gain an audience, to speak to an audience, and to be able to influence an audience. So I recommend every single one of them. And each of them have their different niches and demographics and whatnot. So I'm reaching the 18 to 32-year-olds on Instagram, and that's actually changing a bit. But they all have their own niche. They really do. We could talk a lot about that, but I suggest putting raw video directly onto each platform. I do want to emphasize that because a lot of us will take our YouTube videos, which will house a 4K video. If you don't notice, your Facebooks and your Instagrams are only going to display 1080p. And so 4K can be housed on YouTube. So you might want to cross promote that onto Facebook and send a link from YouTube to Facebook. That's a no-no. And why that's a no-no is because they are competitors, and Facebook doesn't want you going outside of Facebook to go to YouTube. So it's going to limit the people that see it. So you got to be smart and know some of those ins and outs, but I would highly recommend individually dropping a video that you've created into each platform, being YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram being at the top of the hill. But don't forget newcomers like TikTok, which is really being used by a young audience. But if you plan on being in business for a long time, those kids are going to grow up. So maybe paying attention to some of the newcomers like TikTok and whatnot. And I used to recommend not doing vertical video, but now with Instagram stories and those things, video from your phone that's up and down is I highly recommend everyone in getting involved with stories on Instagram and Facebook if you are not right now. So really all of them, and upload them all individually is my best advice for those.
Great advice. And that's good. That's really good. I had not heard of TikTok, so you definitely are teaching me some things. Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to have to go look that one up. And, I have to say IG stories. So I have a love-hate relationship with social media, period. Right. I mean, I have learned to engage it more because I do recognize the value of it for my business. I also do appreciate the relationship building that you can do within it. I've learned to prioritize that, right? And with Instagram, I'm telling you, so now you don't just have Instagram and Facebook. You have IG, you have Instagram, you have IGTV, you have IG stories, you have Facebook, Facebook Live, Facebook Story. And I honestly consider all of those different platforms, because I've noticed that they will hit different audiences. Because like for me, I don't watch Instagram stories personally, but I recognize that there's an audience for that, and I'm missing them by not participating on that platform. But I will post IGTV, and I will do, traditional IG, Instagram. So what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, we got to study up a little bit more to understand how we can make this easier and have it be most impactful. Because obviously we want engagement. Likes used to be the king, but I would rather have less likes now and more engagement. Conversations started, comments happening that I can engage back with. But the good thing about the cross-platform between Instagram and Facebook is that you can put your stories on there and your regular feed of Instagram, and actually just hit a button, and that will cross promote back over to Facebook. So that's one way of making things easier, is now we can use Instagram to put that material on Facebook with the click of a button without having to go to Facebook and redo everything. So that is nice. But Instagram stories, I think it's super powerful, especially with the questions, asking some of the poll questions and whatnot. Those seem to get a lot of engagement. So taking advantage of some of those, that drop down menu on stories where you can add GIFs and you can add questions, and you can get creative on getting people to engage with you, because that's what we want. We don't just want to be cool. We don't just want to have thousands of followers that don't say anything to us and they're in Istanbul. We want to be able to talk to people locally, create digital relationships, deepen digital relationships, as Kendall Bonner is going to be helping us out with at the end of this month, August 27th, 1 to 3.
In 2019, in case this video lives on and on and on and on. And this podcast.
but podcast right here, guys, this is a great opportunity to get multiple angles of content, because not only do you have the audio from the podcast, but if you're recording it video, you can splice that up into many different segments. So podcast is a great opportunity to get a lot of material out there as well. But I'm still learning stories myself. I think it's very powerful too, and I'm still working with it. I encourage us all to play around with it a little bit here over the upcoming days, because it is a powerful way. And the good thing is, right now it's free. They haven't really monetized that yet in a way that you're paying to play. There's a lot of open exposure right now that I don't think is going to last forever. So taking advantage of jumping into stories and getting an audience with that now is a great opportunity. It's almost like the ground floor of where we're headed.
You're absolutely right. As you're saying this, I'm thinking, and I hear Gary Vee talk about it all the time, and a lot of other marketers and influencers talk about the impact. What makes video special for us is it's a way to create our own commercial and get it out there in front of eyeballs for free right now. You don't even have to sponsor. I mean, Facebook, their algorithm is putting our content in front of eyeballs, sometimes public people, random people that aren't even necessarily following us, which is allowing us to create new relationships and find new engagement. And that has never happened before, right? I mean, to put a commercial on TV was unaffordable. Now it's just your time at the end of the day.
And something just popped into my head. Think about the Super Bowl when companies, the companies that you already know about, these aren't new companies. They're paying millions of dollars for just seconds of your time. What do they know that we haven't figured out yet? Well, some of us have figured it out, that attention, that just 30 seconds of a human being's mind with a well-done ad that's flashy and reminds them that they need a Coca-Cola, they pay millions for that. You already know about a Coca-Cola. You know where all the Coca-Colas are at. You know where all the McDonald's are at. But that ad, they're going to pay millions of it just to get 30 seconds of your time. Millions. Now we have the opportunity to make that on a small scale for free and to be able to influence our local audience. That's huge. It's monumental.
Absolutely. And you bring this up, and I just was at a conference recently, and the speaker informed us that there are twice as many people watching Facebook or on Facebook at 8 p.m. than there are watching a Super Bowl ad. That's crazy by like the Nielsen rating. That's just,
yes, that is wild.
We should be posting Facebook Live videos at 8 p.m., guys. I mean, if you don't walk
should.
away
You
with
should.
that.
Hey, that's a good point too, because, one of the things that weren't on that little bio there, I used to sell supplemental health insurance door to door in the largest Amish settlement outside of Europe. Okay. And it was a known fact that if we were able to get an appointment at 9 p.m. or later, it was an automatic sale. And there's something involved with late night lives and people aren't taking advantage of. People are watching at 8, 9, 10 p.m. And I don't see a whole lot of people doing it, but people are, they've been through their day. They're settling down. They're on their phones. Trust me.
They're catching up.
They're catching up with the day, and you could be on there getting caught up with them and spreading your message. So we need to adjust some of the times that we do our lives and post our videos and whatnot, because there's an opportunity there later in the evening.
Boom, mic drop. We could probably end the episode right there, and then people are just going to walk away being phenomenal. But I'm not done yet. I have
Okay. We're not done.
A couple more questions. What are the 3 video best practice tips that you think every videographer should know, do, or have?
Okay. We're going to start at the basics because these are the most important. Lighting, being able to be seen. And it's actually not as important as number 2. I put it ahead of number 2 as number 1, but number 2 is even more important. And that is audio. What we are doing right now. You could be in a dark room with good audio and still influence people and have them listen in, maybe even have some closed captioning with that audio. A lot of people watch videos that are silent. I do it. I catch myself doing it. I really didn't think it was a thing, and I started catching myself doing it. So closed captions are great, but I believe that lighting and audio are 2 of the most important aspects. And the third is being real and being authentic. And on top of that, I want to add a 4th one because I think it's important. I don't know if I have a chance to say it. We have got to educate. We've got to educate. We've got to let people know that we are the authority on our subject. But above and beyond that, we also need to entertain. We need to make sure that if we're in real estate, I encourage you not to talk about real estate 100% of the time.
Right.
There are other things that you are passionate about that your audience is also might be passionate about. And you can find niches of people who really start listening even more intently to your education because you've sparked their interest in things that matter to them, because you have things that matter to you above and beyond real estate. I really encourage bringing some outside of real estate content into your real estate world, because we're talking about people out here. And I was in mortgages and I'm in title now. Not as exciting as real estate. It's always going to be exciting in real estate, but there are so much content that you can make of things that really matter to you. So I want to encourage you, on top of the lighting, the audio, and being authentic, is that bringing some of your interests into your content making and not just 100% about your activity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I combined educate and entertain, and I call it edutain.
I like that. I like that. Great.
It is so important to edutain, right? In those videos.
Yes.
Then the last thing I really want to ask you on this particular topic before we go a little bit more personal is you tweeted a little while back that it's never the competition that's the problem. It is the self-talk that goes inside your head that defeats you. What message would you like to share with folks that are struggling with getting in front of the camera?
Oh, what? They're struggling to get in front of the camera. Oh man, you're missing out. You're missing out on opportunities to shine and be known and to be heard. We all want to be recognized. We all want to be seen and heard. And we have a service, most likely, that we're trying to get out to people. People need to know you. You have a voice. You need to be vulnerable. You need to understand that everyone that gets behind that camera that you think is great, they're getting themselves jacked up before getting on camera. They're trying to act enthusiastic so they can be enthusiastic. They've got problems and pimples and all kinds of things going on, or insecurities and depression or whatever it might be. But video gives you an opportunity to get rid of all of that, hit record, become who you are for your audience right there. Be there for them. Be there for yourself. I just encourage people to just drop the judgment. And you're not judging. You're jumping into other people's brains. You're determining what they're going to think. You need to just be vulnerable and allow it to happen. Magic will happen once you step outside of your comfort zone. I get this is not comfortable for you. If you're listening right now, I know you want to get encouraged. You want people to tell you're a beautiful person. You absolutely have worth. You have a voice, and you have the opportunity, which has never been known in the history of mankind, to be able to spread your message, become an authority, help people. And video does something, it mimics the greatest form of sales there's ever been, and that's face-to-face. And you just need to let go and understand that you are worth something. And I encourage you to show your worth on camera and drop and be vulnerable.
I love it. I love it. And for the video superstars out there, where's the next level of video?
Next level of video is collaboration. Collaborating with other video professionals to perfect the craft and to create more engaging material as we move forward. Because we're still in the beginner stages, guys. We're still in the beginner stages of the mix of video and social media. YouTube's only been around for 9 years. Okay, so we're still in the infancy here. But those who are kind of ahead in the game, they're going to start collaborating, and they're probably going to step up their production value, but they're also going to be finding out what works. They've been doing this video for a while. They can look back at their videos and determine what's working, what do people want to see, and they're going to double down on what works because they have the data.
That's right. Double down. I like it. So, final question about you and who you are.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yes, we want to know you, Ryan.
Yes, I want to tell you.
So someday, one thing guaranteed in life is that it doesn't last forever, right? We do come to an end at some point. And yes, one of the biggest lessons for me, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, I talked about in the intro, was legacy. You know, I lost my mom at 60, but she still provided a legacy for me that's fueled me to this day. What would you, and I know you have a young son.
I do. And
you have an opportunity to leave him a legacy. What would you want that legacy to be? Don't cry.
We're going to get deep here just for a moment at the end, at the tail end here.
Yes.
I lost my father 6 days before my 16th birthday. That following year was 9/11. And so those were extremely stressful times. But I'm going to be honest with you, it never got less stressful. It continued on 20 years later to continue being stressful. And it's a chaotic world. And I've only recently awoken to what I want my legacy to be. And my legacy goes way above and beyond marketing and sales and those things. It goes into, I want to be an agent of change for mental health and being able to be calm in a chaotic world. I found, because I'm a person who's really high energy and very extroverted and whatnot, but I have finally found the power of being calm and understanding that through our being raised in this culturescape and our religions and education systems and our friends and our ex-girlfriends and boyfriends, they've all left us with who we think we are. We've taken all of these things and created who we think we are, and it's called the ego. And my legacy is going to be exposing that made-up avatar self and helping people realize with self-awareness who they truly are. And it's amazing. And that is going to be the beginning stages of helping people's mental health to be calm. I have a huge, huge mission to help people with depression and anxiety and just being able to be calm in this chaotic world. So I plan on my legacy being an agent of change when it comes to the mental health of my friends and family, and hopefully, not hopefully, I don't like using that word, the world. I want the world to be calm and peaceful. And mental health is going to be my legacy.
Amen. Well, I love that. I love that. And I support that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think that's amazing. I could certainly appreciate that for sure.
Thanks, Kendall.
I know you have a job. Oh,
yes.
Sorry. I don't want to cut you
off.
No.
They're good.
So I know you have a day job.
I do.
And part of your day job is to help agents as a part of your marketing strategy. You help agents produce videos for their business. Tell the audience about that. Go ahead and plug what you do and let them know how. I'll put in the show notes how they can reach you, but
yes,
tell them how to where to follow you. I've got all that too in the show notes, but go ahead and tell them.
I love real estate and I love my real estate agents, and I needed to find out a way that I could be of value and bring what I do and what I'm authentic about and what makes me happy and makes me get out of bed and want to do things, and marketing and video and the power that it has. Because guys, I haven't just used video in my business. I've used it to obtain my fiance. When I first moved here, I was sending her little videos and she was getting to know me better. And videos is how I got invited to, interview with Grant Cardone in Miami, where I ended up foregoing that and coming to Tampa. It's offered me a lot of opportunity, but I wanted to bring something new to the title realtor relationship. I saw a lot of flyers being made. I saw a lot of this and that, which are great. We need flyers, and we can do flyers too, by the way. But right. I saw an opportunity in this modern time to be able to help facilitate them spreading their message more and being able to do things like video client testimonials at closing and just be more impactful. And I get to have fun with agents now, and I get to help them spread their message and consult with them. And I just find I'm able to bring more to the marketplace as a title, business development person. I'm also the fancy title of president of marketing and media, because I'm really want to emphasize the marketing and media aspect of real estate. And I have that opportunity here. We have an excellent team with 40 plus years experience, just an awesome crew as far as the title services. But I am going to develop and continue to develop this marketing side to help agents really spread their message, be authentic, and record some of the amazing journey and experiences that they have and their clients have. So that's what I do. Super excited about it. And I'm at Milestone Title Services here in Tampa, Florida.
Well, thank you, Milestone Title Services and Ryan Owens. We appreciate you, and thank you for helping our agents level up.
Level up, guys. Thank you so much. It was such an honor to be on the Improve Your Hustle podcast today. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. All right. That's it.
Over now.
Yes. So thank you. You did great. That was awesome. Great tips, strategies. You taught me some things. Thank you. How did I do as an interviewer? Did I do okay?
You were great. See, it really takes skills to be an interviewer and a listener and asking great questions and coming at the right times. You did awesome. It was so smooth. I didn't know what I was getting into this morning. I haven't done a podcast as far yet, so I thought it went well. You think it went well?
I did. I think you did great. So
awesome.
I got a ton of content here. I've got to decide if I'm going to break it up into 2 or just edit it down a little bit.
Sure, so, you do. It's your baby. You work your magic on that. But I just really enjoyed being on this morning. It was cool.
Thank you. What I'll probably do is, obviously I'm going to publish the podcast today. I'll edit it today and publish it out this afternoon, and I'll let you know so you can share it on your channels. But yes. I think I might share the video too, if that's okay with you. I might go ahead and post that on the YouTube channel. So
I wasn't doing anything silly over here, so we could do that.
Nope, you did good. That way I can post the whole thing raw. You know what I mean?
I'm not real estate shirt today with all my little homes on it. So.
Oh, really? I can't even see it from here. Oh, that's so
like tons of little houses.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Sure, whatever you want to do.
All right.
Fine with me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you too. I really do. And I'll see you here soon. Take care.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.